Hello, my name is Paul Swain. I'm the officer of Mold Salvation Army, and I'd just like to share with you today another dream that I've had. I had a dream in which I saw a long line of people travelling up towards a large grey walled city, and it was laid out before my eyes like a map, as if the people travelled up from the southern end of the map, northward. In this picture, the people entered the city at the southern gate of the city and were travelling upward so that this line exited the city again at its northern gate. I came closer into this scene to where the people entered the city and saw that this procession appeared cumbersome, like an irregular line of refugees migrating into the city. Then, being drawn closer still into the city, I saw that this procession continued to march on through the city, but now it was clear to me, in my mind, that this procession was in fact a great parade, and I perceived that it was even like a great Lord Mayor's parade. At the head of it was the Lord himself, and there was great joy and celebration with him. And all of this procession was following on behind him, each person in their turn. I saw that the people in the parade looked somewhat different from beginning to end, in that at the beginning the people appeared diverse and loaded up with baggage, whereas towards the front end, where the procession exited the city to the north, they appeared as a uniform line of people, no longer carrying anything with them, so that it was clearly seen that they were a healthy, strong, and athletic people in appearance. Even so, like a line of workers or soldiers. As my eyes fell back down the parade to where the people were still loaded up with their bags, I saw that a man left the procession and wandered away to enter a garden, all on his own, and that this garden was still in the grey of night. Here he left 2 bags of goods that in fact looked like shopping, and in turn he picked up the gift of chocolate that had been left out there for him. Yet the garden remained grey even after this man's visit, and as he came and went, he was watched with curiosity by persons there within the house. Now I wondered, was this giving also a part of the celebration? For I had already seen how that where the Lord was, there was indeed joy with giving and life. Indeed, where the Lord was, and all around his continuing procession, was a light as like the colourful light of day, whereas the rest of the city abroad had no sign of life in it, the people being hidden within their own houses, with the appearance of night upon their city. I wondered then that if this was not in fact part of the Lord's celebration, then who was he, and why did others also leave this procession? And I felt the Lord explain to me in answer that the Lord's way was long and enduring, travelling far and wide to cover all of the land. Yet there was no turning off from it or back with reward, no shortcut to the left or the right. But some followers had not given themselves fully to the Lord and to his glorious parade, and so they easily grew restless and would not endure, turning away before due time. Here was a great sadness, in that those who took their eye off the Lord missed his direction, becoming lost, and without his lead they took to their own ways. No matter how much they tried to copy the Lord's parade, they could not, for they no longer knew him. For without sight of the Lord, and having stepped out of their place in his line, they could not do so. And in place of the Lord, they could not help but take and make their own broken self for a leader. Sadder still was that there were stragglers who indeed searched for the Lord's procession, yet some of them were deceived and fooled for a time into following those lost ones, who had tried to copy the parade, but in their own image and to great harm. Worse still were those who, jealous of the Lord and his parade of glory, tried to steal the Lord's glory for themselves, so that their true motive was uncovered for forming their own line and parade of self-praise. Great is their fall and blindness. But the Lord loves the city, and it was not abandoned. I saw how the Lord led his procession all around the city, so that the city was full of light and life, and the train of his parade filled the city so that the streets were full of life. And it was the Lord's glory, that did it all. It was his glory that illuminated the whole city, and the whole procession was also illuminated, casting light all around it, for so long as the line was unbroken from front to back, undivided from the source. I returned to the front of the procession to observe again this parade, just as it left the city to the north. There the Lord himself turned around to see those who had followed him the whole way around, and he hugged each of them in turn, saying to them, "Truly you are mine, for you have followed me all of the way, enduring to the end. Come now and enter my kingdom and feast with me today." And the Lord has given me this verse from Ecclesiastes 11, verse 3. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it shall lie. God bless you. God be with you. God guide you all of your days. Amen.